So, Infinite Warfare, that game. A lot of people hate that game, say it's the worst Call of Duty game in history, but I just don't see it, honestly. I think the game is pretty solid, and this is coming from someone who, at first, was on the hate train. I played the beta, I thought it wasn't fun at all. I played the game on release date, and then I never touched it again because I'm like, oh my god, this game is awful. And going back at it, just playing it again like a year plus later, I didn't play the game in its prime. I didn't play the DLCs in its prime, but I did buy the season pass. I bought the $100 edition of Infinite Warfare plus MWR plus season pass. So I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good deal because the original, the Legacy edition cost $80, and the season pass costs like $50. So I'd be saving $30. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it. So I did, and I was just completely disappointed. I was disappointed with Infinite Warfare for whatever reason, and then I was also disappointed with MWR. I'm like, MWR is not that good, And then when they put the supply drops, I'm like, okay, I'm just done. I'm done with this bullshit. So I ended up going back to MWR and Modern Warfare and Infinite Warfare, I mean, and I ended up still not liking Modern Warfare Remastered. I only played it to have gameplay commentaries for my Modern Warfare Remastered speculation videos. But I just don't have fun with that game, and I might touch upon that in a future video. But then I played Infinite Warfare, and I'm like, oh, this game is not as bad as people say it is. Like, it's fun, it's stable, it's smooth, you know what I mean? Like, when I think of a game that deserves like a 3, 4, 5 out of 10, I think of games that are just completely broken. And guess what? Modern Warfare 2 was broken. Okay, there was so many OP, you had the OMA noob tubes, and this is coming from someone who likes noob tubing, and I'm like, okay, the one-man army noob tubes are ridiculous. Infinite noob tubes. You had the what was the other thing? Commando, so you get knife from 20 feet away. You had just so much shit. With the kill streaks were also, like, in my opinion, I think, they were fun when you got them, but being the victim of them was never fun. And I know being the victim of kill streaks are never supposed to be fun. But man, when you keep spawning in, you're constantly getting shot down by an AC-130. It's not fun, okay? But I will say MW2 is still one of the best Call of Duty games just because the campaign was amazing and the multiplayer was still fun. It was still fun. In certain aspects, there's a lot of broken ways of, there was a lot of broken mechanics in the multiplayer, but it was still a great experience, and if it were to be remastered, which I think it will be in 2019, I would buy it instantly, okay? So, that being said, Infinite Warfare actually is balanced, it's stable, unlike MW2, okay? And it's smooth. It runs very smooth. People say, oh, it's just a ripoff of Black Ops 3. Okay, yeah, that's what turned me off in the first place, too. I'm like, okay, this just feels like, to me, a poor man's Black Ops 3. That's what it felt like to me. But then when I got to play it, I'm like, okay, yeah, it has the same movement system as Black Ops 3, but it's still a different game, and it has a lot of unique elements to it. For example, okay, the maps, in my opinion, they run very similarly to Black Ops 3's map. I can't say which maps I prefer because I honestly can't tell you. I think they both have pretty solid maps, especially for the wall running mechanic. I think it's good. Oh yeah, so as far as the wall running goes, oh my god, it's just a ripoff of Black Ops 3. Why would they do this? Okay, so for 3 years they were planning on making a futuristic game ever since Call of Duty Ghosts, right? They planned out 3 years making a futuristic COD. That's a marketing mistake on Activision's part, thinking that futuristic Call of Duty games were the future of the series and it would be a long-term thing for Call of Duty. They were completely wrong. They completely missed the ball on that. They really that was just a really bad mistake that they made. But at least Infinite Warfare, using Black Ops 3's movement system, you had consistency. If Infinite Warfare made their own futuristic advanced movement system, you would not have any consistency at all, right? Going from Advanced Warfare to Black Ops 3 and then back to Advanced Warfare, it's very trippy experience because you have to get used to the exosuits. There's so many times when I played AW after playing Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare, and I'm trying to do the wall running, but I realize, oh wait, I can't wall run, and I'm doing the exosuits. So at least there's consistency, and that's a very good thing that they did, honestly, in my opinion. Now looking back at it, right? When it came out, I'm like, oh, this is crap. This is just a rip off of Black Ops 3. But first of all, the combat rigs or the specialist, they're different. I mean, some of them are similar. With the executioner, is the same as another perk. Another combat rig that they have, where they have like a that pistol where like you aim sideways with it and it shoots. It's similar to the executioner, but not quite. But you don't have really too many similarities beyond that. I mean, the striker is completely different. The warfighter is different, and even the robot is different. The robot dog in Infinite Warfare, it's not the same as the Reaper from Black Ops 3, really. So, so there are some similarities, but there's some similarities between all Call of Duty games. I think there are enough differences to distinguish Infinite Warfare from Black Ops 3, and not just being a ripoff. So basically, I thought the maps were great. I thought this campaign was pretty good too. I enjoyed it a lot better than Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3's campaign was total shit. I don't care what anyone says. Some people are like, well, the campaign was good, and if you don't like it, you just didn't understand it. Well, the thing I didn't like about Black Ops 3's campaign, it had no connection at all to the other Black Ops games. It didn't even feel like a Black Ops game. That's the problem with Black Ops 3. But at least Infinite Warfare, it's its own thing. Even if the movement system is similar, that's really all. As far as the similarities go, that's where it ends, because the hit detection's completely different. It's much better. The weapons, I can't say the weapons are better, but they're different. And I just think the game is overall underrated. Now, I'm going to do a video on which game I prefer, Black Ops 3 Infinite Warfare, because I do like Black Ops 3's weapons a lot better than Infinite Warfare. I also like Infinite Warfare's campaign a lot better than Black Ops 3. And when it comes to the maps, that's a toss-up. So, in the future, if you guys want, I might make a video comparing Black Ops 3 to Infinite Warfare and looking back at both of those games and which game do I truly think is better at this point. Because now that the hate train is gone with Infinite Warfare and I'm finally looking at the game objectively, I think I can accurately criticize the game and not be unfair to Infinity Ward. So, let me know what you guys think. If you think Infinite Warfare was underrated like I do, let me know. If you disagree, then that's fine. Leave your comment, down below. But I thought it was solid, and also the zombies were good, where they were fun. So there was nothing wrong with the game. When you look at a 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10 game, that a lot of the critics, guys on Metacritic gave the game, like not the critics, but the user review scores, they got 3 out of 10s, 2 out of 10s. Man, that game is nothing like that, man. I would probably give it like a 7 or an 8, honestly. It's a solid game. There's nothing wrong with the game at all in terms of balancing. The balancing is solid. The gameplay is smooth. It's just, it doesn't deserve all the hate it got, man. It was the second most disliked video on YouTube. It was just, yeah, I don't know what people were thinking, honestly. But, man, if you have criticism against the game, tell me why you hated the game, and not just, oh, it's futuristic, so it sucks. You need to give me a little bit more than that, because, that's really not a valid criticism, because that's the same criticism I gave the game when it came out, and I ended up not giving the game a chance, and I missed out on a lot because of that. I know the game is still getting support, they're still getting new weapons and whatnot, but still, I still, I think, missed out on plenty, because I did not give the game a fair chance. So, let me know what you guys think.